I'm showing on my stream thing. I know there's a little bit of a delay, but I'm going to wait until I see it on my YouTube before I start going. If you are here and you can see me or hear me or whatever, let me know in the comment section in the live chat. Oh, someday. Bum, 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 bum. Looks like we're live. Yo, there we go. I think we're in and we're here. Cool. Rossi boy, Lewis. Lovely. Right, okay, cool. Right. I've got some people, we'll just go and get stuck into it. Sorted. There we go. Everything's all up and running and working a treat. So I jumped on, did a little live stream with you guys a few days ago. And we did the new lineups for the new iteration. I'll kind of show you where I'm at now. It's not good reading. It's definitely the worst I've done in like 12 game weeks or something like that. So basically the big end of 3 months. So as it stands now, we're only really up for a little bit awful power hour. Oh, tonight is it? I've only looked at the power hour for tonight. Let me go have a wee peek while you're having a look at how crap my scores were. A little bit of ETH to come out of it. Just missed out on the big ETH prize. But it's been a big learning curve. I'm sure we'll come to it again in the stream as more people kind of hop on and join us. The power hour, what is it? Is it just all American-based players? Yeah, I think it is. Oh, Diego Rossi, by the way. How cheap is he going to go for? That could be tempting. What about we check in on the power hour as well? Didn't realise there was going to be one on tonight at the same time as the stream, which is lovely. But the score, you know, I said to folk, you know, privately, and even I think in the stream but itself, none of the teams I was mega excited about. A lot of them I thought, you know, they're quite well rounded. If the scores go the right way, I could easily end up with quite a lot or not a lot, which is the way it's kind of ended up. You know, like Harrison a fool only shooting a 25 really hurt that entry. And Lewis Morgan, you know, could have done a little bit better than a 37, I suppose. This one here, but into knowing that the goalkeeper wasn't going to play, all the outfield players did relatively well. And at 94, I can't remember what the places were on that, maybe top 65. So we weren't too far away without a goalkeeper playing, which is a silver lining, but, you know, it doesn't put any cards in the gallery. Champion Asia, we were holding a spot for a good while. We didn't end up coming away with anything. Champion Europe. Now, Champion Europe is one of those divisions that I think previously has been quite bereft of selection. So if you did have that kind of niche player like a Carlos Soler or whatever that not many people would actually be using, you could do quite well. Whereas now, I think with the Bayern on board and the PSG on board and all the new season cards for like Atleti and Lyon that have been coming out, I think the Champion Europe divisions became very competitive because a lot of the cards have big scores in them. So you really need to, there's no room for error, I think, in there. All-Star D3, I was, you know, it did okay, didn't it? I would probably say the Diatta was a big letdown. I can live with the M3 because he's a midfielder, but by picking an extra striker, I'm really, I suppose the Pies a letdown also. I really needed one of them to shoot us, you know, I can't remember what it was. I think maybe top 55 for that, you know, and we were just out of it with 2 strikers blanking. Still scoring quite credibly considering, but you know, this is where we got a little bit of EFA. Again, the goalkeeper didn't play, which was a bummer. Castellanos didn't do well, which was annoying because if he did a little bit better, we would have got the bigger ETH prize, which would have been a slightly thicker silver lining. Under 23 D4 has always done well for us. This week we were really nowhere near. Nobody's shot that high. Bailey was a good start. Kamada was quite weak, and then the other guys are just all very mediocre, you know, so in terms of the scores this week. So nothing that exciting, nothing that crazy, which is disappointing because we're on such a hot streak right before I don't know what you're after, Lewis, sorry. Try to read your comments and I don't even know what you're after. So I've got a lot of food for thought that's kind of came out from. I've just got little notes to make sure I don't forget anything because I've got a terrible memory when I do when I go live. But what I've kind of thought when I'm looking at this new system is I think rares have become so much more palatable to own, in the sense that, like, for example, if we look at the Amiri, where's my D3 All-Star? If we look at the Amiri, right, he shot 44, and then being a super rare, that amped him up to 53. So a rare that shot, even a 60 is, or even the same score, basically a 53 is what he's ended up with, then you can outclass these super rares. I don't know, I'm not in those waters yet where I'm kind of swimming with the uniques of the world and the top end, so it's kind of hard to pass comment on that specifically. But I do find, especially the realms that I'm in between D4 and D3, that really it's all about football now. It's really all up for grabs. It's all about the card selection rather than I've got this card and it's super OP, and as long as he shoots a 40, he's going to end up with X amount of points and that kind of thing. Which, don't get me wrong, I've benefited from. The Crepin-Diatta, the Depay, they're all very high power cards that I've had kicking about for a while, because I've been here for like 3-4 months, and I was the funny thing is I was like a training fiend when I first started on the platform, and then the changes, and what it was the World Cup kicked in, and with the World Cup, because it was all D4, there was real pressure to keep that lineup under 44, 42, whatever it was. So I stopped training altogether throughout that time period, and then I've not really started it back up full and proper. I'll do that with these tonight. What I'll be doing is I'll be going through how I'm setting up my training for various different cards in various different situations. So I'll touch on that. We'll see how this we'll probably see how the stream goes. I might even just save that for a video. Oh, you're trying to see your teams. It's SoRare data, but I'll say this now. SoRare data is totally free. They're on Twitter now asking for donations and stuff like that. If you can spare them anything at all, I would highly recommend you do that. They provide an incredible service free of charge, and power to them, because they make your decisions more informed, they make my decisions better informed, and they make all of us as a community, in terms of going into these competitions and even the market, as well armed as possible to make sure we're making the best decisions possible for ourselves to progress our gallery, to win competitions, to make successful trades, all that good stuff. Let me see what else they can have. So yeah, I kind of went over game week 118 a little bit already. But yeah, in summary, I was none of them I was too excited about. I was kind of like, oh, if he plays well, and if he plays well, then I'll do very well. But those performances never quite fell. And then when I look at all these numbers here, and let's say I do a bit of recce for the game week ahead, okay? Recce, reconnaissance, whatever you want to call it. A wee bit of a recce. So we'll have a look at the rankings, right? So what I really want to look at here, I'm going to be a bit nosy. So while I look at that, All-Star D1, the top winner was on 567 points, which I don't have any teams anywhere near that score or could even get close to that. The All-Star D3, the winner, 474. Yeah, so if you've got those super rares that are really hitting those big scores, the guy had a Ronaldo as well. Super rare or captain, it's hard to tell with this little screen. Delict, super rare or captain. De Vries, yeah. So De Vries Mertens, sorry. So those are, yeah. So that's the kind of top end where why we really be shooting at. You're looking at getting around that kind of 400 plus mark in your D3 situation to be really excited. Once you get to that 400 level, that's when you want to be really buzzing for that big packed game week that we just had. Anyways, a very active weekend. There's a lot of fixtures on the go. The All-Star D4, let's have a look at that. So at the top end, again, 434. So there's no super rares in this team, and there's only one captain of this, that kind of power. So again, like the card selection, if you really believe in the game week coming up for 5-year cards, then taking that gamble on a D3 could pay off for you. We just seen the top end guys, and even look at the D2 as well. You could get mega lucky, and if you got yourself, I think it's only really top 10, isn't it? But look at that, 405. It's a bit of a gamble, and you're obviously committing resources that you could use in a safer division. But if you have an abundance of cards, especially strong, good players, the fact that they're rare or super rare or whatever might not, that comment. You'll need super rares to get to the 400s, right? But the lack of unique doesn't really necessarily seem to hold you back too much at that level, which is great to see. In terms of a development standpoint, it's all about football. It's all about researching the fixtures, knowing who's in, knowing who's out, and dealing with all that kind of stuff. So we're going to dive into how did that disappear? We're going to dive into, I don't know why that always happens to me when I go to change it. I'll have a quick peek at this little power hour thing. I'll jump back and grab these. I'm going to scroll down, see where power hours are. So yes, it's all MLS, a minute. Diego Fagundes, Diego Rossi. Oh, 0.4 is a good price for him, eh? But 200 quid's not cheap considering how many fixtures he's likely to have. A Twesta SR is going to, wow. Twesta's really good. I like Segura as well, big fan. And Matthew Freeze. It doesn't sound like he's going to be playing. It sounds like it's going to be Blake. We'll come to that as well. So let's see the chat. Sorry, where am I at? Oh, you won the Rossi, Lewis. Oh, well done to you, pal. Well done to you. Rossi at 0.4 is amazing. So very much well done to you. Even if you were to wind back to where Ether was like a week ago when it was around like the 280 mark, you'd probably expect to pay a bit of coin for him. You know, so even though the price of the coins went up, it can be good for market, the kind of situation we're in now. If you have the ability to step into the market, like you know, we've obviously been able to do that now than anyone else, or equally if you were able to stock up on Ether before the price booms, then you've always got that better chance of walking into the marketplace with a bit more confidence because your money costs you less money. If that makes sense. So we'll dive into the game week itself, right? And we'll have a little look to see what's going on exactly. Now, I did a little dry run of this again, and there's one lineup I'm mega excited about. But we'll have a little glance over the matches, and we'll see if anything jumps out to us that I might have missed when I was just going through and plugging my team. Because sometimes it's really good to take a wee step back and just see the fixtures. Where is the easy fixture? Where is the battle's going to be won and lost? Who's going to be the big card to be deployed in the big team? Because as much as like you might only have 5, 10, 15, 45 cards to deploy, it's that combination. It's about hedging your bets. It's about putting them in the right situation with the right players around them in the right division. So it looks like we're starting off with Europa League, the way the scroll is going to work. So Europa League is always helter-skelter. Anyone could beat anyone, really. Some of the European teams have got a nice pattern now of these guys will play in Europa, these guys will play domestic. So some nice patterns you can work out with that as well. Champions League, is there any headline fixtures? Bayern Munich at home at Salzburg, that should be a cricket score. Man City away to Olympiacos, I don't think that's going to be easy. PSG, Leipzig is not going to be easy. Yes, I don't think Dortmund should run over Bruges at home, but again, we'll see what happens. With the playoffs, we've got Seattle against LA. I need LA to win. I need LA to win. I want Vela to play. I want Vela to run the roost. I want that to be a shock, and then it'll be LA and Dallas in the next round. And then if they get through that, then I really want LA to do well. Philly should be beating New England, but New England are not mugs. They should not be underestimated. Lons, we've got a wee French game in there. A few J League matches as well. We've got a top of the table clash between Kawasaki and Gamba. And a mid-table clash, which I like, Kashima versus Kashiwa. I'll get some players for both those teams. View all games. What else have we got to show? Oh, when we do view all games, it actually reorders it as well, which is confusing. Oh, and there was some more matches maybe that we missed out. Championship, was not much there that's actually available on the platform. Pro League, we've got Bruges and Muscaron. Anything else worth mentioning? No, I think that's it. Cool. Top place in D4 under 23, but I've got third in D1 under 23. Wow. Good spot, Lewis, by the way. Good spot. Guys, we've got a little handful of us around. If you found me on Twitter, hit a retweet for me, drop a like, all that kind of stuff. Just help it get found and get shared and all that good stuff. I just realised, oh, guys, I'm at it. Multitasking between pages. I find like doing videos because if I make stupid mistakes like that, I can just redo it. But yeah, I just walked you through the fixtures and where are we? So what we'll do this time is I'm probably going to start down with where will we start? I'm going to start down with my champion Europe and see what D4 kind of situation we're looking at with this. Now, at the moment, there's 236 entrants and the top 65 get a tier 3 rare. So percentage-wise, you're talking about top third roughly, which is nice. I'm going to just out of curiosity have a peek at the D3. So 87 entrants, top 25. I really like that as well. I know I can put a good team out in there, so I'm excited about that. Champion Asia, we've got 209 entrants, and we're looking at 65, so it's decent again. You know, in these quieter weeks, 302 in the Challenger, it's always a bit fuller because there's just more cards available. A bit more competitive. Uniques were not involved in that. Under 23s, just under 375. That's competitive again this week, which is good to see. Basically 100. I'm liking the look of the D3s this week, by the way. Global D4 is always jam-packed. And we know what to expect there in Global D3, 235, 50. Nice, okay. About 20% or so. And then the weekly, you know, I was talking to somebody about, I don't really do the weeklies, just because the criteria are always a wee bit wacky and weird, and it might mean that I'm depleting another team that I want to keep really strong. I did say when I put out tweets and stuff like that I would do like a Q&A or whatever. If you do have any questions at all, drop them in the live chat and I'll answer them or help or do whatever I can. Anything you've been stuck with or unsure about, now is always a good time to get that asked. So where do we start? I was going to start making the Champion Europe first, but what I think I might do is I think I might I think I will start with Champion Europe D4 and I'll get a lineup put into that and work backwards from there and see how we go. Just like we did last time, even though last time didn't work out too great for us in terms of it. Yeah, so I'm going to put the Paul Lopez in here. So what I did last time is I went through all the regions and then got to the globals, and then I then decided where I really wanted to put my focus, and then we worked around and tried to deploy all the assets as strongly as possible, and it didn't really actually work out, so I don't know why we're doing it the same way again. But it's generally the way I do everything over the last bunch of weeks where I've been doing pretty well and picking up prizes. So I'm quite happy with that. In defence, I'm not going to be betting on Gabriel starting. Kostas Manolas and Mancini have been terrible for getting rotated out for Europa League. They both didn't on the last occasion. Will it happen again? Napoli are at home. They're probably a slightly safer bet to keep him in. Let me have a wee look, actually. Let's see how Napoli are doing in that league, because if they need the points to secure qualification, then they might play a stronger team just to get that done with, and then they can fully rotate the remaining fixtures. That could be part of their strategy. So let's see. Tuesday. Let's share this tab so you can see me what I'm up to over here. I think Napoli game is Europa League, surely. Yeah, it must be. Oh, I think we've jumped ahead now. Yeah, we have. Bum. Right, okay, so where are we at? Napoli and Rijeka. So the thing I always forget to do is share the window on the way back out of the pop-ups. Normally just close this and then it screws it, but I will remember this time. Oh, so 3 teams on 6, very tight. This team, yeah, they need to win, don't they? Get someone to 9 points. They won't secure qualification, but it is so tight. I don't think they're going to want to take the chance. Oh, I done it again, didn't I? I done it. I closed the screen without sharing it again. Such a tip. I said I wasn't going to do it. Sorry, Roscoe. Was the rest of the stuff boring you? Sorry, pal. So I think that Napoli are going to have to play a strong team, and I see Manolas being an easy player to play in a strong lineup, being defence. In terms of midfield, now, do you know what? In my lineups before, I've been putting Under in because Leicester seem to start him. He's in good form. He just scored for Turkey in the international break as well. Comes off the bench quite a lot in the Premier League, and the Europa League tends to start, so I'm quite happy to put Under in there. Away to Braga, Leicester in good form, and he'll be relatively fresh. And looking to put a claim out there for getting a Premier League start. Now, it's really hard not to want to put the Ronaldo in here because he's a common, and then you know he's going to play Champions League and against Ferencváros. How many goals could he score? I'm just going to put the common Ronaldo in there, and then the spare player, who could be? Ferran Torres away at Olympiacos, will he feature? Thomas Lamar, look, he has been featuring a lot off the bench, it must be said. Will he start after that big win against Barca? Will he start against Lokomotiv? John David just shot 100. AC Milan are in good form, not to be underestimated. Zielinski, He's been coming back from a wee period of injury. That might not be a game they want to start him just yet. I'm probably going to go. Do you know what? I could even just go with Mason McKinney because I know. Do I know? I don't know if I know. I was going to say I know he'll at least bring in a tidy score, but I don't know how much he'll actually feature because he has just come back from international, come off the bench and whatnot. Will Pirlo start him? It was starting before a little knock. It's hard to judge. Do we want to keep Ferran Torres for an under 23? We have conundrums. I'm going to say my motto is always going to be who do I reckon is most likely to get minutes. I'm trying to keep away from Wirtz, Bailey, and Alario because I want to use them potentially elsewhere. So I want to use a strong team with trying to keep a wee reserve or two. Do I even maybe just want to drop the Danilo? No, I don't think I do because I think I want to keep him for a global setup. I'm going to do the McKinney in here. I'm going to make under captain. I can't make the Ronaldo captain. Let's do that. So is away. What do we think of that? Is it strong? Is it too weak? Is it a wasted entry? I only asked that because last week I tried to make everything as evenly strong as possible. And do you know, I'm going to do Challenger. I'm probably just going to leave Asia now. I'll come back to that later. I'll circle around. So Challenger D4, we've got 300 entrants, top 65. This is always going to be tough. Who do we have? It's got to be Akinfeev. Do you know I'm going to have a little cheeky look at it again? Just because of the scores we've seen, is it a little bit less competitive to go into the D3 perhaps? 113, top 25. No, without the super rare, I wouldn't want to waste. Nah, I wouldn't want to waste my entry. I want to get as strong as possible against. Yeah, I'm still going to live on that old habit, even though looking at the leaderboards, it should tell you that doesn't really matter as much as it used to, but I'm still going to hang on to it. Richie Delant has to be played. The guy is captain fantastic. Since I won him the award, coincidentally, his form has been absolutely stellar. Plays every game, and I expect that to continue away to last cleanse in the Europa League. Midfield, now, the only player I can really play here is either the Vlasic, I drop another common, or the Dorsch. I'm going to go Dorsch because I just know with the midfielders that I've got elsewhere, I probably won't need the Dorsch to be in another division. I hope we'll maybe come back to that if we need to. Up front now, I actually got my first and only refer a friend bonus. You know, when we had that kind of glitch, the change from the old system to the new system in terms of getting your free card for referring your friends. I somehow got one. I messaged them about it saying, hey, am I supposed to have this? And they're like, yeah, on you go. So we've got a Mogamed Shapi Solomanov. And no, I did not practice that. I think he's going to start. I don't know how well Krasnodar will realistically do at Seville, but they are at home, and you know why not? He's the best looking striker I've got to play. Badgie, I do like, but away to Dortmund, he's very unlikely to play, and if he did, very unlikely to score me well. So, and then what does that leave us with? A Jetty? Could a Jetty play? Do you know what? I think he's quite likely to feature because I think Lennon's probably going to want to get him some minutes. Europa League's pretty much a write-off now for Celtic. We're going to go Captain Dorsch just because he's on everything. So I'm going to put that Jetty in because when I first got a Jetty, I put him in all the time, and he was on great form for Celtic. And then he kind of dropped out the team. His form's not been too great, and I've not used him since. And when I've seen him in lineups, I've been kind of like, oh, damn it! I should have put him in. I should have stuck by him. So I'm doing that this time. I'm sticking by Albion Ajeti. He's going to play against Sparta Prague. It's a nothing game for us. We really do not give a fuck about the Europa League anymore. It's all about the fucking league. You've got to catch Rangers, you bastards. Under 23s. Now, we've got a lot of choice here for goalkeepers right now. I'm going to give you a little spoiler, but I've went through this before. Right, little question before I give you a little spoiler. Could Nubel play at home to Salzburg in the Champions League? I think, you know, they didn't just lose, or did they draw? They just had a non-favourable result anyway with Bremen. I think it was that a draw? Or no, was it Bremen? I can't. The result anyway the weekend wasn't that great. Might be a nice wee chance to rotate. You know, Neuer's doing great now, but it wasn't really that long ago where there was question marks over him, you know, if you really think about it. And the Nubo, they signed him. They also rate him. They didn't send him out on loan. They sold the other guy, Sven Ulrich, instead. So they must have promised him minutes. And this could be a game where he gets the minutes. I am not going to gamble on that in the first instance. I would maybe gamble on it in the second instance. Just because I don't need to take the gamble. If you do have a Nubel and you don't have any other options, but you could get the Nubel in as a probable DNP, I would take the risk because he might play. He might just play. I'm going to go with Anatoly Trubin, because this is the only match week I can get him used outside of training. And, you know, scores are very average over the 3. You know, if you were to break them all down, the 26 was the last tie against Mönchengladbach, where they ran all over them in the Ukraine, which was very surprising and hopefully didn't damage the wee 17, 18-year-old's confidence. Highly thought of goalkeeper. So at the back, we have a lot of choice. Now, there's no American division, so we do want to get our American boys deployed as strong as possible. Segura is a bit of a gamble. Mark McKenzie, I think, will have a great game. Ryo Takao, this little guy here, got him as a reward. He just shot 100, and he's got good scores anyway. So he'll be going into that top of the table fixture full of confidence. He could hit a good score. And then otherwise, I'm only really interested in Ominami. So, and I'm going to put, I'm going to put Ominami in this actually. So I'm quite happy with that. Plus 7.5 percentages on him, and his scores are fairly tidy, and he's against a mid-table team, so he should, you know, not do terrible. He should do relatively okay, I would suspect. Shappy, you're right. David Boyer was not bad. Put the squad. Oh, I'm gonna put the squads back up. How did I lose at that time? So anyway, yeah, we went from Trubin to Ominami and midfield. So what are we looking at? Under 23s. So we've got some good options here. We've got a lot of firepower in midfield. We've got Wirtz, we've got Aronson, we've got Sakamoto, who's got some decent V60s in there. And if you'll go and check him out. Torres. The thing I really like about Torres, right, is he's been playing kind of false nine-ish up front for City. And if he starts, that's when he gets those 69, 76 scores. That recent hat-trick for Spain, obviously, against Germany. Maybe that's why I'm thinking about Neuer. Did he play in that game? Maybe that's what it is. It's in my head. But Pep Roulette, and they just lost to Tottenham. He might rotate a bit. It's an away trip to Greece. It's really hard to judge. I don't know if I want to take that gamble. And Eo Tanaka, who we love as if he was one of our own children. I'm only joking. So I'm thinking, who do we put into this? Now, I'm definitely trying to, actually, do you know what? Let's drop the Wirtz in here now, right? And see if we need them later, because the under 23s. No, actually, I definitely don't want to put Wirtz into this. I actually take that back, because I think I want to use him elsewhere. Brendan Aronson, Sakamoto. I'm going to put Ferran Torres in here, because the Trubin could get crumbled, and Ominami is just an okay player, so I'm not losing too much. But if Torres was to start on the bench, for instance, it's a relatively shaky lineup as it is anyway. And then otherwise, Rio Hatate, I need a striker that's going to be starting. I know Diatta will start, and as you can see from his scores, he basically plays wing back, which can be a bit of a cheat code if he gets goals and assists, because he's doing so much other stuff, you know, crosses, dribbles, that kind of thing. I expect him to be under the caution. He'll probably get some decent points for that alone. And if if they get beat 5-1 and he got an assist, if it wasn't, as long as he isn't at fault for any of the goals, then he could come out with a decent score for us. And then I'm kind of hard. I'm struggling not to put the Vlasic in, because I know I kind of want some of these R cards to maybe do some other things for me. Do I maybe put the Anthony Fontana in? I think he'll start. He's not started. He starts. I don't think he will. Or will he? Let's go and have a look. Anthony Fontana. Do we think he will start? What do you think? Comments down below about that team. Anything obvious I'm missing? Obviously, I know I've got good players there, but there's one or two I'm trying to hold on to for potentially a D3 entry. And we'll double back if we have them still spare. Oh, Jesus. I've just seen Betis are getting absolutely trounced at the moment. Share this tab. Boom. Right. So it's just about remembering to share the tabs back the way on the way out. That's my problem. So where are we? MLS. And I'll share the screen once I get to Timbers and Philly, and you can see what I'm looking at and what I'm thinking. Oh. This is annoying. So much easier on my phone. I'm so used to just going beep, 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 fly through. I know exactly what I'm doing. Oh, this is just annoying. So I'll just skip the page. Get the actual fixture day. Is it the Tuesday? It probably isn't the Tuesday. Add that to the favourites now. That should make it easier. Bum, 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 bum. Philly. There we go. Right, so Philly. Right. So what I'm looking at is Philly. I'm then going to dive into the squad. This is what I really like about flash scores. Okay, this is a wee sneaky tip. If you're here and you're watching this, you can do this on your phone on the actual app pretty easily. If you use FootMob, SofaScore, all these types of things, it can be hard to gauge when somebody's missed a match because it just shows you like their history for the matches they have participated in or been involved in. Whereas with this, it shows you if and when they've been out, and it's very good for detailing the reason for that. So we're going to click on Anthony Fontana. Oh, brilliant. I don't need to change the page. It's still showing as the same page, I believe. Brilliant. So you can see he's played in the minutes he's had, and you can see he was on the bench. So it just shows a DNP. And I promise you, if you were to go into FootMob or SofaScore, that game where he was on the bench, it might not even signify it. I think SofaScore would. FootMob wouldn't even acknowledge it at all. So sometimes things like can be misleading. But yeah, he's not been blessed with starts the last couple of games. The last game was against the Revs and he got 1 minute, and that was a big game for them to clinch the Shield. So if he wasn't going to start in that match, he's not likely to start this one, in my opinion. So we're not going to play the Fontana. We'll keep that under our bonnet for next time. The Ryle to Leon Bailey. See, I know I'm just going to put the Vlasic in. What do you guys think? Vlasic, yeah. I'm going to just stick with the Vlasic, and then we'll come back to this if we want to. In terms of captain, I'm going to go Torres because if he does start being kind of up-frontish against Olympiacos, who will campaign against Man City, he should have plenty of possession, and no matter where Torres is playing in that Man City team, he will be making passes, dribbles, crosses, hopefully shots as well. Goals and assists would be lovely. All-Star D4, so 690 entrance. I think we've already looked at this, of course. And then goalkeeper, who are we going to be deploying? So we have a lot of great choice now. I've got it on good authority. I just seen on Twitter from Tom C. It looks like Andre Blake is going to play. So that's where he's going. He's going into my global D4. Is the best goalkeeper I could put into there, and he can't go into any other regions or any other categories. He's 29, so it has to be him. We've still got Mbemba. So who do we want to play at the back? I was actually thinking Danilo. But I think because when I did my first draft of this, the Philly players weren't there for some reason, but now they are. I think it's just because of the way the fixtures update for the playoffs. I'm going to put Mark McKenzie in there because I expect him to do well. I don't think we're going to go all Philly. I'm not going to put Aronson in this team. McNamara could do well, but he's in the opposition, so I don't know why we're backing that. And then I've got my Japanese boys. I've got Arturo Osaka. He let me down. Yeah, he's been a wee bit quiet recently, but they've not played in a little while. I think that team has had a little bit of respite. Let's go and check that out. When was their last game? So let's have a peek. J League. Please be here. Save me searching for it in the big scroll decks at this app. There we go. Oh, brilliant. We're on the exact day for it as well. Fantastic. So just going to click into this and we can see the head-to-head. This is something I used to do quite a lot when I did normal gambling. Is if I was backing an away team, sometimes I would check out because I like to see, like, for example, yeah, they both last played on the 21st. I've not actually had a break at all. I don't know why I thought that. It was before that they went a long time without a game. Yeah, so they're actually quite fresh. They probably come back to that game quite rusty. And then the flip side is this team has played all the way through, so they'll be quite match sharp and match fit. So that's actually quite a tough game to call. I remember to share the tabs on the way out. There we go. So Osaka, I don't know if I want to take that gamble on him. And Tanaka's playing top of the table. Clash, I don't think we need him for this. I'm tempted to go with I'm probably going to go actually with Hayo Kawabe because I know that team that he's playing against is Tani's team and they're on crap form. And this guy is a good little midfielder and a good little team. So I'm going to back them. Hayo Kawabe and you get Sun. And then up front, I'm going to go with Vela. There's going to be no Rossi. There's going to be no Brian Rodriguez. It's going to be BWP. It's going to be Carlos Vela and Plumber Blessing will be the front three. see what kind of midfield they clobber up if they're taking Blessing out of there, but that's what I expect it to be, and I'm hoping for an upset. Even if they don't, if Vela was to score a goal, a penalty, anything, then his points should be good enough with the multiplier I've got on him, plus 8.5%. I'm quite happy with this global team so far. Now, our extra player is a toughie because we have a lot of choice. We can be any position, any league, any category. And there's nobody that's jumping out is, oh yeah, he'll be good for a global, because I've got a lot of options left with all these players. They're all quite versatile. Some of them can be, you know, in a regional league. Some of them can be in an age group league. Tempted to put Kevin Leardam in. I'm tempted to put Mancini in as well. Let's check out Roma. I want to know if their game is a must-win. That is important to me. Because Mancini played the last Europa League game, and if they do need the win, then that is something I want to know about. So a win against Cluj, 10 points, 4 games. That should see them through. That leaves, it leaves them all but through, I suppose. If young boys don't pick up any points, then yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it? I think that seals the deal, and then they can rotate fully pretty much for the last couple of games. So I think we might back that. I think Roma will want he hit great form at the weekend. He shot an 86. Oh, it's tough because it's just that Europa League rotation could absolutely just wipe you out. Well, where's John David actually? Let's stick him in. If we get John David still to go, I think we do. Unless even hit used. Is there anyone who I've used I'd rather have in here, perhaps? Minami. It's going to show me absolutely bloody everything I've used so far, isn't it? Actually, I'm not interested in that. I'm going to put in John David. High as a kite, at home to Milan. Milan, as much as they're in great form, they're out, are not infallible. Even if the guy was to, they lost 3-2. I keep saying, I'm saying the same thing for a lot of these guys, but I'm an eternal optimist when it comes to football. I believe in stories, I believe in form, and that could work out quite well. That's also Celtic's group. Those two need the point. Oh, Lyon need the points as much as Milan, I suppose. And who do we captain? Who do you think is going to get the most minutes? Vela is just back from an injury. I'm not banking on him getting minutes. I'm not banking on Joe David getting minutes. I'd probably go with actually McKenzie, to be honest with you. Actually, no, I'm going to go with Kawabe because he's got the highest. I don't know. I'm going to go with Kawabe. That's who I'm going with. Stop doing that, you silly mouse. I forgot to change the screen, guys. I know, sorry. Stuck on Bet365. Jay Fraz, I seen it from a tweet from Tom C. So Jay Fraz, if you are on Twitter, check out Tom C. I cannot remember his hand off the top of my head, but if you go on the hashtag SoRare, you'll find him quite quickly. And it's one of his recent retweets, and it's from like a journalist over there. That the coach has said that he's been in training, the surgery went well. I heard, see when he broke his finger or broke his hand. I'm looking at the screen as if that's for the cameras, I'm sorry. I heard when the incident happened that they said straight into surgery, get a pin in it. It's like a heal time of like 2 weeks and you can be back for the playoffs, and then miss 2 matches as a result. So I do believe on it. I do believe in that kind of report, if you like. No problem, Jay Franz. No problemo. So where were we? We've got the D4s all out now, I think, don't we? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go into the D3s now. I've kind of went through this already, and I think it was Champion Europe and under 23s. I was able to put a really good D3 setup out on. So we're going to go Champion Europe first because that's regional. So who do we have goalkeeper wise? See that Nubel. If I could gamble on him somehow, I would, but I'm not too sure if I've got that in. I've got that ability. So we're going to go all black for this. At the back is got to be Trippier. I think that is just pretty obvious. And then in terms of midfield, I think, do you know what, with this one, what did I do? I think I went with the one super rare, and I took the works. Up front, we go Alario. And then spare, It's a Danilo, isn't it? No, do we keep? I think we keep the no. Danilo's not undered. So does that mean? Oh, who else do we have for this? I'm keeping the Cuisance, so come to him later. Maybe we are putting in the Danilo. Is this? Well, why not? It's not a bad thing to do. You score well. That team could do pretty bloody well. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. The captain in this team would have to be Wirtz, just because his form's been so good recently. And again, my strategy has been with captains, most amount of minutes, and next some of those situations there's a lot of good options. Who do I wish would be the super rare in this situation? We go to global under 23s next. Register a team, and we have Tanny and we have Lafont. Now Tanny can hit some big scores and he can get absolutely pumped as well. I'm going to go with Lafont because I fancy that's the better option here. In terms of at the back, minutes and all that, Rayo Takao is just shot 100, so I'm taking him. Nidim Amiri, Leverkusen, who do they have again? They've got somebody quite cack, I think. Beersheva. Now, Beersheva, they get pumped in the last match day, and I'm pretty sure it'll happen again. So I'm going to be taking my boy Amiri. Now, I am taking up front Leon Bailey. I always get stuck with what to go with in terms of his pronunciation. Now I've still got my Brendan Aronson, so that's good to know. And I'm going to put Cuisance in this. Marseille at home. They've not played a league fixture. They should be quite fresh. Cuisance. Now this is what I'm saying with checking this stuff out all the time. These DNPs, if you actually go and look at them, it doesn't actually have any DNPs here. I think this is just Marseille have not been active in the game week as such. So always double check that kind of thing. Captain's going to be Bailey because he's just the most likely to shoot a big score for us. And we've got a decent amount. I've still got Tanaka. Yeah, we've got a good rig out. We've got a good ring out. Now, I'm going to actually take a wee step back, okay? We went through quite a lot of stuff. And I'm just going to take a wee pause for a second to make sure I've not done anything stupid or went away from anything I was going to talk about. But yeah, anything, comment section down below, guys, or the live chat. What are your thoughts on the combinations we've done so far? Are they good? Are they shit? What am I missing? I've still got a few loose coins. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll click on the Global All-Star D3. 236 entrants. Do you know what? We might actually risk it for a biscuit with something in here. So we've still got Cisniga, who will maybe play. It's kind of hard to say because he's DNP for a couple of games. I think he had a minor knock, and again, they might have been saving him for the playoffs. And we've got that Nubo gamble. And we've got the Tanny. Now I think I'm going to keep Tanny for the weekly because I can feel the Japanese team or the Asian division. I'm going to do one of those two things. So I think goalkeeper wise, do you know, I'm probably going to. I'm just going to click on the Nubo, right, and we'll just see what kind of players we've got left over. I've got the Leerdam. I'm quite confident he would play. Kim Jong-gwon, I'm quite confident would play. And then Mbemba. I've still got Mbemba. And Brendan Aronson, Sakamoto. Guys, I've got a lot of good players, man. Yeah, let's go Brendan. And then up front, who do we have? Ueda. And then midfield, I'm probably going to be going Sakamoto for the spare. So I've got some many bloody good players, man. I wonder if I even just put my Asian lineup into this, how well it would do. I've still got all these cards spare. I've still got the Aronson. I've still got the Mbemba. Let's take a wee step back. Mbemba can go into my challenger. So let's see how we left that team. A Jetty. So I'm gambling on a Jetty rather than going with the certainty of Mbemba. I think I will retract that, by the way. And I think I will take the Mbemba in there because I know he's going to play. And that's so important. So I'm going to do that. Who was our spare we had? It was Brendan Aronson, wasn't it? Bubba. So we're going to do with Brendan. Are we going to put him in the Global All-Star D4 with the rest of his pals, Blake and Mackenzie? Do you know what? It might not be a bad shout ahead of the Joe David, but it means then rubbing the Joe David. Guys, help me out. Aronson, John David. It's a toughie. Ueda. David Peters loves a bit of Ueda. He needs to get a better squad picture for next year. The guy does not look cool. He looks like a 14-year-old boy that's like strolled out of school and somebody's gave him a top and went, right, you're playing. Love a bit of UA, David. So you do. Where are we? Yeah, so what to do with John David? Do we drop him? Oh no, we can't. He's I need to drop the Vela and bring the Vela back around. So let's do that. Brendan and then David Vela. Yeah, I know he's just shot 100 from the bench, right? But the Milan game is going to be tough. But I could put him in a champion team. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to take Kawabe off captain and give it to Brendan. I'm quite happy with that. It's basically my MLS team that's in my Global All-Star D4 now. So who did we just pull out with that? It was the Champion Europe we want to look at again, wasn't it? Ronaldo. So the McKennie. Yeah, so I kind of, we had this kind of, so would I drop the McKennie for the David then? Yeah, do you know what? I think I would. But I need to swap the under first, just the way it's worked out. And then I'll captain under. Is it worthwhile dropping that? I'm not going to drop the Ronaldo. I'm going to keep him in. And then, did I even put Vlasic somewhere? Yeah, we did. We put Vlasic in here. Do you know, I'm going to drop the Vlasic for this Sakamoto. Just to get that full birth of points out of him. Thoughts on the upside of a two-time defender lineup construction? Do you know? I think we just did it somewhere, didn't we? The thing with two defend, I think what's cost me in some of these game weeks. Just when it loads. I think what's cost me is a lot of my players have hit those 40s, 50s. I've had a fair amount of them. Let me see, can I find myself? But if you can get those defenders that are going to hit like 60s, you can double them up. I had it in one of my lineups this game week here. I can't remember who it was. I'm sure I'll remember as soon as I see it. But like my goalkeeper, I think it's the All Black team. My goalkeeper and my defender hit 60s, which was great. And then the strikers hit 40s. So when all that was kind of happening at the time, I thought, well, if that was the other way around, I would probably be quite happy. And I was until I finished 78th and just out the bloody prizes. So it's tough, I know that's a goalkeeper and a defender, rather than two defenders. I think I've got that situation somewhere. No, it was just that. I think it can be good, but I think now what will be rewarded is getting those a couple of scores where, if you get a defender like Rayo Takao just shot 100, Mickey Yamain has shot 100, Gabriel shot 100. You can get Mark McKenzie. You can get defenders that will do that, but they're very few and far between. It's quite gambling. If you've got hunch on it, brilliant. It can be quite safe because the strikers, like, if they don't do well, they don't score, they don't perform, then you just need to even look at the score where we're getting for. Even if we look at the Ajeti coming off the bench and not doing very much, yeah, you can get 25. These 30, I think he started, But yeah, so if they're starting a game and not doing much, 39, 37, you can look at UA does the same. Diatta's got a bit of a boost on him because he's more of a winger. So having two defenders versus two strikers can definitely be profitable. I think the mean for most of my teams is two midfielders because you've just got more ability from that to have those assists churn in, those goals churn in, and you've got that kind of, if it's a dominant team, they should be picking up passes and winning duels and all that kind of thing. But definitely no right or wrong, and I think any formation now has got good standing to go and do well if you've got the right players around it. I really like that team. I'm just praying that Trubin continues to play in the Champions League and Ferran Torres gets a start against Olympiacos. So I'm quite happy with that again. We've done a wee bit of a rejig. And I'm going to check out, I'm going to hit, I'm going to see what we've got left over again and just make sure I'm not missing somebody who I want. So we've still got an Asian setup to do now. We still have the Cisniga that could be a gamble. We've got the Nubel that could be a gamble. I'm going to just, Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the Nubel in as a gamble. Is there anyone else that's free? We might keep the Yamain. I don't see Gabriel playing. Segura will play, but if the Sounders beat LA, which is what's expected, he's probably not going to score too well. Yamain, I want to keep going. I don't want to have an away defender in this kind of team. You know what? I'll probably put Kelvin Leardam in. He played the last game, didn't he? He's been mainly a starter. He got rested for one match. I'd maybe put Leardam in because I expect him to play. And as I say, Seattle are expected to win. He's my only Seattle player. So if they did win, I would feel bad I hadn't deployed him somehow. So even in a little gambling lineup, I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to keep both of you two down there. The gamble, I'm going to go with 37 in the last game. They did win it. Who's the gamble the way we're going to go with in here? Zielinski, Grujic, Gabriel. No, Rangers are at home. I would not be backing an away team going Ibrox at the moment. Thomas Lamar. See, we're kind of tough if it's going to be like a gamble lineup, you know. Just put McKennie in. Why not? And then up front, it'd have to be. Do you know what? For gambling, I suppose we're putting Clivet in. And who else do we have then? A Jetty? Why not? Shits and gigs, eh? Shits and gigs. Let's just stick him in. And then let's go captain a Jetty. Screw it. Why not? Yeah, so I think we've used the best cards possible in the best possible places. Now, the reason I've left the Asians off right to the end is oh, really, Ross? That is a ball buster, and I've just realised it. I'm sharing the bloody tab again. So this is the team we just did a wee gamble on. This is a gambly team we're sticking into D3. Nubel might play. Messi McKinney could play. Clivert probably won't start. But even if he finally got his sub appearance when he came off the bench and changes the game, I'll be happy with that. And Jetty probably will play. So it's a real gamble lineup. But if they all came in, we could be rubbing our hands. That could be a cheeky one. And it doesn't really take anything away or diminish any of my other entries, you know. So I wanted to check with Asia, right? So I wanted to check the D3 70. Top 25 gets a D3, a tier 2 rare, sorry, I beg your pardon. 209. Do you know what? I think I'm going to stick. But then see what I look as well. I look at the special weekly, which I never normally do. 57 entrants at the moment. And what would I need to get? Top 5, top 10% for a tier 2 rare. There's no real. Nah, I'm going to go. Definitely going to stick with my Asian, but I'm going to take the wee gamble. I'm going to throw us into D3. So it kind of picks itself. Tani, Yamain, Ao, Ueda, and Arturo Isaka. It kind of picks itself, doesn't it? We're going to go for it. Why the fuck not, eh? Captain, the only bugbear I have about this team is that Isaka and Ueda are playing against each other, and I know they can both still score well, but it does bug me. It does. Who do we captain? I think I'm going to captain. I'm going to captain Ao Tanaka. I think he's just safe to get in a decent score to get on that multiplier. They are at home. Do you know what? I'm going to go with Yamain. I'm going to captain Yamain. There we go. So we're going to take our chances in Asia D3. Sorted. I'm going to come back to the chat, see what you guys are up to. 3-1-2 score, that seems quite high. Oh, really? A lot of the adjustments are actually pushing the scores up, do we reckon? Interesting. So what I'm going to do now for my training, right, is I've had this done and redone a few times, right? What I want to have is I want to have like 3 teams or however many I can and should make that are not playing for the foreseeable future. Injury, end of season, whatever, and then not worry about them. I need to take a wee mental note of it's the first 4 teams I've made or whatever, and I can just let them tick away getting XP until such time that they are required. So I'm going to go with the Titan in goals. Because the thing with training is you can captain anyone. I've got like 2 or 3 SRs that are going to be spare. So I want each of them in a different team so I can captain them specifically so I can get them ranked up quicker, higher over the time in the off-season. In defence, Zeno van Hoosten's out with an injury. That's an easy one. I think I've got quite a few injured bodies in here. Yeah, Zaniolo. There's a Paulinho in here. Yep, there he is. And then who is injured or out of season? Who is not a super rare also? Or even a common. And I'm quite happy to put a few commons in here, like my Vlasic, my Ronaldo, or whatever. Diego Chara is now out of season. So is Kyoto, Medina. It's quite a good lineup. So I'd like somebody, just for aesthetics, I'd just like somebody good to go in with them. And obviously your idea of good is very subjective, so you might not agree with mine. But like I said, I just want people who are, all these guys are out till next year, definitely. So I just want to be able to put a team together that I can forget about, and that's going to be in training. Until such time that their season returns, or they get a transfer perhaps in the January window. Chicharito, let's stick him in. And Captain Titan. Now there's different tactics to training. You can also put training non-playing players in with active players, and I think the theory or what happens is you get a little bit more XP. That is a good reward for the effort you'll have to put into doing that every week. I'm not really interested in that for some of these guys. So I'm going to put the Ruffier in next, and our SR goalkeeper at the back, who is not going to be playing anytime soon. Planetchek is out injured. That's easy. I might stick in somebody like a Lamar, or I'll stick the Vlasic in. We're not using him now. We definitely want him powered up front. Pania, I'm not too bothered about. Let's just stick Mason Toy in. And then no game again. Who's spare? Who is spare? Who do we want in training ranking up? I like young kids as well. Let's put the Cole Bassett in since they've been eliminated, and we'll make captain again the Ruffier, so we want him to rank up quicker, higher, faster. Yo, Non-Stick Llama, thanks for joining us, son. Good to see you as always. We're at the kind of training portion of the night now, so we're just putting away players that are dormant or not doing anything for us, and we're just trying to set up some passive. I'll do all the other ones off camera, but what I'm just trying to establish is these players like Krapal that are not going to be playing anytime soon. I just have a couple of training squads that tick away themselves, and then I can do training with the rest of the guys on an ad hoc week-to-week basis. Right, so I need another probably MLS defender, Miles Robinson, Andy Gutman. I've got 2 Gutmans, and I want the one with the highest power because I've had him the longest. Oh, I've got Danny Wilson there as well. I'll go with Gutman, it's 8%. There we go. Midfield, I might even just stick the Lamar in, because when the Lamar does play, he'll give us a couple of extra points to get that team moving. Up front, I'm going to have somebody, Castellanos, Johnny Russell's still going. We'll stick Castellanos in. And then I think subsequently we'll also put in my super rare Medina, and then that finishes the team off. Nice. We're doing well. And then I'm going to go Van de Voort. I'll just get more invested in him time-wise, so we'll keep that up. At the back, who are we looking at? Miles, Felshire. Oh, one of my posters just peeled a corner. Danny Wilson. Let's get Danny Wilson in. Guys, what do you think of the teams you've seen so far that we've put out? I'm really excited about the under 23 D3. I'm just going to fix this poster up here. Sorry, it's going to bug me. It's a really cool, you won't care about this. It's a really cool pencil rendering of a picture, which is, and it works really good with my lights in here that I've got for all my displays and stuff. So it's quite cool. If we are judging card prices by ETH and ETH continues to rocket, would it put new managers off joining SoRare as it would cost more money to buy a half-decent team? Now, this was one of my talking points that I had written down. So, Jax, thanks for bringing it up, son. Well, I don't think so in a sense because, sure, when it's difficult. When it comes to the auctions, money's what's always going to drive it, because more people participate in auctions from their cards nowadays. They don't buy coin and sit on it and go in, which I think you find is much more common in the secondary market. So I don't think it's going to actually exhaust the auctions, which is fine. What I do think, but with Ether is it's quite circumstantial. So if Ether goes up, all the cards are more valuable, but they're more valuable because the prizes they win are subsequently more valuable. So it's really tough. I was listening to the SoRare podcast with High B Index and Mark, You'll Never Walk Alone. I can't remember what episode it was, but they were talking about this. And what Mark said is at the end of the day, traders are always going to pick what favors them. You know, if Ether is up, you're going to want to sell for high Ether. And if it's down, you're going to want to sell because, oh, I play with money. And that is very true. People will always go for what favors them individually. But me personally, I don't worry about it, because at the end of the day, even £500 for a coin, let's say, I know it's like 450-ish now. Let's say it got to 500. What £500 for one coin will buy you, except out with your bigger players, like your guys that would have been half a coin to a coin anyway, you're still going to get those, you know, a player that was 0.1 is still going to be about 0.1. That's 40 quid now. It used to be 25. That's not really a big difference, especially considering like the D4 that we could just set up an automated D4 every week and just churn out Ether, you know. So I think if it got to something daft like £1,000 a coin or whatever, the actual Ether market would have to not cease, but everyone would have to deal in fiat when they're doing, you know, their profit and loss, and because it would just be too crazy by then. Like if Ether went up to £1,000 a coin, I don't think anyway, by and large, you'd be able to sell a lot of the cards Ether wise for what you paid for them, because, you know, Danny Wilson, let's say I paid 0.5 for him, it was £6. If it was £1,000, that would be like £60, or, you know, whatever. I don't see that happening. So I think if it got crazy, it will revert. Naturally, traders will just have to deal in their actual money that they've got in their pocket. You know, you can't just magic it out of thin air. But it's a hard one to answer, because there's a lot of the market that's churning over the now on a lot of coin. You know, I've advised people before when we've did videos, when it goes down or you're confident the price it's at, you should be stocking up on the coin, dropping it in your wallet or keeping it in your account, you know, your Coinbase or however you acquire the coin, whatever, and wait for it to be at a good price and a card you want becomes available on the secondary market or on IPO, and you can step in with that coin costing you less money with more weight, with more power. The coin is always going to move up and down. It's at 450 the now. I was saying to Ross in a DM the other day, like I'm waiting for it to slide back to like 390 to 400 and just chill out for a month, you know. But I said that at the time. I think the high was 410. Then went to 420, then went to 430. I woke up this morning, it was 450. You know, so it's really hard to judge. But I think it will settle down. It will certainly move backwards. That's a given. It will happen at some point. And I think when we get a little bit of a plateau, a little bit of a backward step, and a little bit of a level out, I think we'll see trading as normal and everything will be hunky dory. Midfield in this team is going to be Efra Alvarez, because he's my super rare. And then up front, who are we going to stick in? Somebody who's not playing for the foreseeable. Pity Martinez. There we go. And my spare body. Chara? I think Chara's a good shout. Maybe just stick him in. Oh, Morgan. Let's get Morgan in. We need to get him in training. 100%. Well excited for next year. Captain Alvarez. And we're off. Will we do one more training team maybe? Can we maybe squeeze one more out? And then what I'll do, because I think there's a few of us that are just joining us, I'll dive back through the teams so you can see what we've deployed. And again, guys, drop the comments down below. Questions, thoughts, opinions. If I missed an absolute howler, I'm going to stick Sneega in this team. Now, I'm going to have a little kind of training team for people that might get minutes. just to make sure they're not missing a trick. I want the Segura. We're going to go with the Mancini because I'd rather he got some XP if he does play and get the minutes. Same with Zielinski. And same, not really too invested in any of these guys usually in terms of getting them XP. Let's just put Badgie because I do love my Badgie. My onion Badgie. I fucking love him. Fontana. Grujic. I like my Grujic. Let's stick him in. And we'll go captain Grujic. Or Sisniga. No, Grujic. Okay, cool. Minted. So, let's take that away. When does the new MLS season start now? I think at the moment they're talking about March. So it's only going to be really like a 2-month layoff for us. The early thoughts were April. It's normally an April, kind of May start because it's mainly a summer league. But the North American Champions League or the CONCACAF Champions League, CCL, is going to be in January. So that is going to be running through January. I think the tournament will finish by January, and then it means the clubs that are not involved, which is quite a lot of them. I think NYC, a Canadian club, LAFC maybe. There's probably 4 MLS representatives that go into it. They don't typically do well. Toronto got to the final the other year, and that was the first time in like forever, maybe since DC won it in the last millennium. But yeah, so I take them through January. If we get the reason I'm saying that is if we get the CCL on, because we've got Santos Laguna IPO'd, if they bring in another couple of Mexican teams as well, because the Mexican teams really thrive in that Champions League, they basically dominate it. So if we get some more Mexican teams, there's a good chance we'll start to get CCL just so we get UCL, UEFA Champions League. So that could be positive. And if you've got any teams involved that are in same time as the K-League, good to know, David. Thank you very much for that. So if we get the CCL come on, you'll have January with some of the guys, and then February off March start. So, depends how it all pans out. I was going to say something else there. I can't remember for the love nor money what it was. I had another little point I was going to carry on with there. Was it something to do with Korea? No. Oh, yeah. Because, guys, there's whispers. Things are going around. I think one of the men himself put a tweet out saying like December is going to be fire. And that was after Bayern Munich and PSG came out. So I'm really excited for December coming up. IFA can do whatever the hell it wants. So some of you guys, like I seen, it won't mind, you'll probably quite thank me for this, but Willie84, if you go check him out on SoRare, he's wanting to sell some pieces of his gallery. So go check that out and see if you're interested in anything. See if you can get a bargain or a good deal for both. But some guys, I'm sure, like I've been, when IFA is flying, you will get, or me anyway, I'm looking at my numbers, like my gallery's worth 10 grand. 10 grand is worth it now. You know what I mean? But I'm not, that's circumstantial for me. You wake up tomorrow and the IFA price could be anything. I'm not playing on, I need to sell my cards because the IFA's up or that kind of thing, because my cards I have are all actually pretty good. And I've tried to trim the fat off my gallery, but with rotation, with injuries, with leagues starting and going different times, my gallery is actually quite sound. It's quite well rounded. I don't really have any fat on it, and everything that's in there can help me churn out more cards, which are worth more money, and it'll give me an excess which I can sell and then reap rewards from. So I don't trade. I've tried my best always, Football Index, anything to trade out, not being affected by external forces. I try and make my plan. I buy for this, I will then do this at that point, etc., etc. Don't get me wrong, some things happen in your personal life. Like I've had to, I was actually thinking about this quite a lot before the stream, right? My whole time on Football Index, if any of you guys have been here on the channel for the last 2 years and you've watched that stuff, you'll know this. And if you're new, this will be a wee bit of a background into me for you, right? My Football Index account never really got over $1,000, right? It would go up to like 500, down to 1, up to 8, down to 6. Now, I was always a big proponent of small frequent deposits and regular withdrawals. So I would deposit X amount every weekend, and I'd think, right, that's going to get up to X amount of pound. If I can then work that up to be this, then I remember one of the first little runs of videos, and I can then go and pay my tax bill. I'll then do it again, and I can go to, I've got some stuff in here, right? Well, I'll show you. So I was going to pick the camera up. Well, I'll show you. I won't show you the now, right? I've got a lot of wrestling stuff in here, right? That's all signed and stuff like that, like Bret Hart, Undertaker, hundreds of cool stuff, right? And I'm not into wrestling. I've not watched wrestling since I was 12, right? But my mate still loves it. And he was like, Quinny, we're coming to Liverpool, all the big hitters, get some merch, let's go get it signed. It'll be a great weekend away. Went and done that. I spent a lot of money. Every bit of this was paid for Football Index, profits and earnings and savings and that kind of thing. But the reason I'm telling you that little anecdote is, as much as I was able to save some money away from accumulators, get it to work, get it to do well, pull it out, and then invest it in some plastic. Everything in here is fucking plastic that I can have fun with and I do know more about, and it's a controllable asset or investment. It did hinder my growth on Football Index. Some of you guys that are on FI have done really well because you were able, or you did compound trades and profits over and over again. Whereas when I kind of let myself down, as I was always itching to withdraw, I was always itching, right, that's up to £1,000, fucking hell, in my pocket. I want to go, I'm going to Liverpool next month, or I want to go buy a couple of toys, or I want to put, the last like good videos I did about Football Index, and I say good in the sense that I've ones I had fun about, and I was talking about strategy and players and fixtures, that kind of stuff. So I was talking about having the team set up so that I could make good trades to pay for my PlayStation 5. How well do you think that worked out? But now with this, I've kind of learned from that, and I'm really happy to compound. So don't get me wrong, I wouldn't see the now is popped up. Yeah, that's basically my thoughts on it all, to be honest with you. I'm going to do another little run through the teams. Yeah, I'm going to do a little run through the teams so you can see where we're at and whatnot. For any of you guys that are just joining us, so our global all-star D4 is looking like this. I don't remember exactly where all the chips fell. This is what we're going for. Mainly American, and we've got a little Japanese midfielder in there. I actually really like that team, and the percentages I've got on them all are actually quite high because they are all in season, which is lovely. And all these guys have been playing a lot for me. Carlos Vela, even though he's not been playing, has been in training relentlessly for this moment when he can come in and look at the scores he's been getting from the bench. And yes, we want Vela. This is going to be a really good global team. If Philly win, as long as Philly win, I'll be really happy with how that team will do. The D3, it'd be, for streaming purposes, but lovely if I could just go click, and go through all the lineups. That'd be great. This is a pure gamble. Nubel, he probably won't start. I'm hoping he does. But yes, it's just a total gamble team. Just with spare parts that might play, and hell, why not? We'll just stick them in something. Our under 23 D4, I think, is actually really good looking as well. Now, this is actually a little bit soft, to be honest with you. Could we firm this up with other things that we've let hang loose or not deployed? Ominami. Would Segura be an upgrade? If you go by the book, Sounders win that game, so no. Ominami's been playing well. I'm going to stick with him. Sakamoto's playing well. Ferran Torres is my extra piece. He has a bit of a gamble just with Pep Roulette and whatnot. I don't think there's anyone better I would drop him for. Would you drop him for the Segura or the Fontana? Oh, did I just change some there? I did. Did I just put in Shappy in there? Oh, crap. I did. Nah, I think I'm going to keep that team the way it is. It's a little bit soft just because I know Diatta's not going to score that high other than like his ball winning skills and that kind of thing. Because I expect Dortmund to absolutely run over Bruges. But he will play, and if he is getting stuck into stuff, he should get a couple of points for us. Challenger is where we've got Shappy. This is actually a really strong team, by the way, with Dorsch as captain. If Shappy can get anything from that game and assist, if he can get a 49, I'll be happy. Dorsch, if we can get up to the 73 to 88 region, buzzing, and Bemba 59, easy. Yeah, this team could do really well, but the Challenger is always so competitive, like I said before, because there is so many cards available in that division. Young and old, variety of clubs, etc. So it's always super competitive. Asia, we're gambling on going D3 just the way the scores have went in this new system, because we have quite a good looking team in terms of the actual players, the form potential that they all have. So yeah, Asia D3, we're just going to go for it. Why not? And the bottom, did we have another one? We did. Champion Europe D4 and D3. So D4, I think this team is actually quite good looking as well. It's a little bit soft, isn't it? When I go back and I look at it again, I think, oh, it's a bit, hey, it could do super well. The Ronaldo, could we upgrade that because it is a common? not really used. Is anyone else we will drop in out of another team that's a bit soft, perhaps? Where would we put the Torres in there? Guys, Ferran Torres or Ronaldo Common? Torres or Ronaldo Common? What do you think? You know, it's so hard, isn't it? And then the last one we've got is the Champion Europe D3, 90 entrants, top 25 bag something, and we've got a good looking team, man. We've got a really good looking team, even for one super rare. I'm really confident the Atleti guys can get similar scores to what they've been on. Danilo, again, similar. Wirtz and Alario at home at Beersheva should run riot. That team could be absolutely brilliant. So I've got quite high hopes for that. But where's my Cuisance? Under 23, this one. This is the one I think I've got the most. Yeah, this is the one I've got the most excitement for by a long way. Cuisance and Amire, Takao. Even if Takao scores a 57, I'll be happy. Yeah, buzzing. How's you guys? I've had good fun tonight. Oh. Blockchain. I don't know what you're saying. Hey, sweat, Rossi boy. Catch you later. Why player makes no. Or why player oh, it makes no sense. Why player common? Well, because if Ronaldo starts and he gets 100, and then he gets nerfed by like 45%, that'll come down to 65. If Ferran Torres comes off the bench, doesn't do very much, that's going to be like 25 to 30. So I think a guarantee of a Ronaldo starting, and the very likelihood it's Champions League at home at Ferencvaros. I think the likelihood of him doing well is quite high. I think it makes him a little bit safer. I know what you're saying. Torres over Ronaldo. I'll go with you guys. It's 2-on-1. Okay. If Torres doesn't start, by the way, if Torres doesn't start, user for it. But then what we need to see is no game used. What we then need to see is who we replace the Torres with. So let's go Torres in here, right? I'll bow to the pressure. And then extra, who do we have? So, I mean, this leaves me quite light over here because who am I putting in here? There's nobody there I would really drop. And then let's see some of these softer. This team was quite soft anyway. I really want to be picking from another one and breaking it up. All-Star D3, that was a rubbish lineup anyway, wasn't it? Who else was in that? I've got the Vlasic and Chelsea. I need to get that Ronaldo on training. I'll do that off camera. A Jetty. Do we put a Jetty in this? I've got a lot of confidence here. I wouldn't be backing them, to be honest with you now. But again, like I say, I wouldn't mind putting in a wee gambling lineup. Do you know, guys, I'm really struggling to find a replacement for Torres in this lineup now. You know, do I take Badgie or a Jetty? Van Hoosen isn't going to play. Everyone else is quite well deployed. It's a toughie, isn't it? Gabriel, well, he's not played any Europa League, and I gambled on him playing the last Europa League match, so I don't know. I don't know if it's a gamble. And it's away to Molde, I think, isn't it? It's away in Norway. I gambled on it last time because it was at home, and I thought, right, well, he just played a blinder. They're at home. Surely they just keep him in form because defenders don't need to be rotated. Badgie, Dennis isn't travelling. But again, Badgie is going to be playing against Dortmund. I'd rather have Colin Ronaldo involved, I really do, you know. Because it's even if he shoots 90, and gets 65% of that. That's still better than 105% of 40, isn't it? Yeah. Or even, yeah, bad. Yeah, I think I'm going back to what I did before, by the way, guys. I'm really sorry. But I just don't know who else I put in this team. I don't know. I've been more confident in Common Ronaldo than I would be a Jetty or Badgie, because Badgie, it's away at Dortmund. I'm not backing him to score. Celtic, I'm not backing them. Sparta Prague done us with their fucking reserves the other week. And as much as I like a Jetty and he's one of the better players, he's not been totally fit, must be said. Then I'm taking Ferran Torres back in here, guys. I'm sorry. I only say sorry because if you've been on the channel for a while, some of you have, some of you haven't. I had a series called The People's Portfolio. I love the people, and anything I can do on camera to please, nothing dirty, please. I'm always happy to do that. But I think it's really hard to keep the Ronaldo out of this team because he is Ronaldo. And he is in the Champions League at home at Ferencvaros. How can you, taking the Ronaldo because he's going to do it. And I think I've already got a gamble in there with the John David for the start, because as much as you might look at that and go, oh, he did so great from the bench, he was on the bench. It's against AC Milan. They might start Yilmaz again, So I'm happy to go with the David because I felt so bad that I never had him in any lineup and he shot 100. So I'm quite happy to roll the dice on him this time. Same with the Manolas, because we did the kind of little analysis on the table. I reckon Napoli are going to want to beat Rijeka at home and put that league to bed and kind of scratch it off the to-do list that they've qualified. Was there anything else? I did training for a few guys. Weekly. There's nothing else we can really enter, is there, guys? I was just thinking, could we? Way up front, but I don't have an American goalkeeper that's playing this game week. Bugger. I was going to do a Japanese one, but I actually fancy that D3 a bit better with my assets. Stick beer got. Tati. Do we think David? Do you think Tati will start? Do you think he'll play? Or is that a title-winning part? So that's the game they're going to. It's a top clash. He'll probably come off the bench, Tati, won't he? But again, it's somebody coming off the bench to maybe shoot a 30 to 40, or even a 25. But I did a video recently. Also, I did the one with Dan where we really went through the new rookie setup and maximizing commons and all that. But I did it on one of the recent videos where we're talking about the new changes and what to prep for. And commons, as much as you look at them, and let's have a look at the Ronaldo setup again. As much as you look at it and it says minus 45%, that Ronaldo, see, before the change, his power was 3.1. So compared to a rare, it was less than 50. At the moment, he's 55% as powerful as a rare, which is 106% or whatever. Whereas before, it was less than half percent. If you had a basic rare off the market in 7.2, he was 3.1. So he has actually had a little bit of a buff if you actually look at it like that. It does look negative the way it's displayed. And I think it's actually a great way of displaying it because it does keep you in check that this guy is going to get almost a handicap for being common. And I like the visual on it. I think it's very clear and new people won't be misguided by it. But I think experienced heads like us, you can maybe actually take that the wrong way. They've had a bit of a buff recently. And somebody like Ronaldo, I think the punt's worth taking. A goalkeeper, the punt can be worth taking. Another comment I've got that I really like is Vlasic. Again, a guy that the punt can be taken with. But yeah, I think that's everything, guys. I'm quite happy to hang about for maybe another 5 minutes or so. I don't want to just cut and leave. But we stick on SoRare data. Share this tab. Or actually, let's check out the auctions. Let's see what's going on over there. See if there's anything exciting. Will we get involved in something? These haven't updated in a while. I don't know if it's because I'm screen recording. Let's see that Rossi. Was it Lewis? Was he blowing her? No, it's away now. Oh, that's away. I was going to check Lewis if it was you. They grabbed the Rossi. Well done to you. Elsinho, how much did he go for? £4. See whoever got. He's 34 right enough, right? But see whoever got that for £4. Doc Curdy, you know, he talks to me about prices. That is insane. Super sub, Joao Paulo, 60. He's good for 60 quid, by the way. I've not got enough Seattle players. That's probably, Joe Willis, by the way. SoRare Footy Index FPL. You have done yourself a bargain there, sir, with that SR. 0.4, lovely. Joseph Martinez. Wow, Jordan. Whoa. SoRare Footy Index, you're gobbling up. See, when it's high like this, $5 for Leardam, Latif Blessing, Ricky O'Shea. Oh, just seen it was a super rare Mackenzie. I'd have definitely been interested in that. I'm just going to have we scroll back through to see what's actually alive at the moment. Oh, Unique Zimmerman. The year that Zimmerman won Best Defender of the Year. It's a good year to have him as a unique, I would suggest, if you're in that market. Stephen Fry, Shane O'Neill, Sergio Santos. We like Sergio Santos. He was in our Sneaky Scorers video. Go and check that out after the stream if you want. Rui Diaz, Randall Leal. Pozuelo. Fucking mouse keeps moving. Pozuelo. There's some good bargains in the golden hours because Ether is high and these guys don't have a lot of games left, you know. So if you're happy, get use out of them for a week or two and then, you know, wait a couple of months, then you can get yourself some really good bargains now. But you need to have that experienced kind of patience of sitting and holding and not getting itchy feet and regretting it. There's nothing worse than making a purchase that you regret, or, you know, in anything in life. Never mind something that you can't easily relieve yourself of if you do get that kind of FOMO. Because good football players will always sell. Bad football players, you're going to need to be patient. Adel Tarap, super rare. In our lifetime, maybe that would have been good. Nothing else. Segoev, once upon a time. Alban Lafont still up at 0.5. Lakonga. Lakonga, I think he's one of these guys from Underlight. Everyone likes all Makana and Doku, isn't he? It's hard to keep up with all these bloody Belgian wonder kids. They come out everywhere. FI Trader 1000s after him. Scores have been good. Yeah, he's probably one of these guys with Kana and Doku. Or Konga, I thought I recognised his name. Probably decent price, I suppose. Don't really need any, me personally, don't need any more challenger or midfielders. I'm quite okay with him. Maximenko. Quite a lot of goalkeepers filtering through. I actually really like the way they've done the progression on the velocity of all these auctions since I joined anyway. So I remember there used to be like hardly any, and if you've been here longer, some guys like Marcus in the comment section. Yeah, I've heard you guys talking on pods or whatever and saying that it used to be very little IPOs every day. So now there is just an array of people out constantly. So you really need to have fingers on buzzers. Fonzo, gotta love the guy. As far as I'm going, probably. Ruben's up. If you want him, he's 18. Yep, he's 18. Magic. Guys, thanks a lot for joining the video. If you're new around here, like, subscribe, share, retweet, all that good stuff. Wish me luck for game week 119. Stay out of trouble, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.